Heyers, welcome to the ZedKraze's stream for tonight, the 17th of December 2017. And what are we doing tonight? We are continuing our what was I going to say there? Our countdown. That's what I think I was about to spit out. Of our top 10 games of the year of 2017, which is the year that we are currently in, but not for much longer. So first we had number 10, which was, what was number 10? It was Thimbleweed Park, and number 9 was Paradigm. Now we're up to number 8 and number 7 tonight. So first up, we'll do a stream of number 8, and then I'll stop the stream and I'll do number 7 after that. And then of course we'll continue on Wednesday from 7 p.m. Australian Western Standard Time on the ZedKraze's Twitch channel. So what is number 8? It is Little Nightmares. In many ways, a bit of a surprise for me. Like, in some ways, I don't know. Like, in some ways, I feel like maybe other games should be, without giving away what the rest of my top 10 is yet. But I don't know. It's very my aesthetic, I would say. I describe it as almost like Little Big Planet if Tim Burton was directing it, sort of thing. The animation in it and character design is just amazing. The platforming in that is a bit iffy. Like the controls in particular, I struggled with a little bit at times. But overall, the atmosphere and, as I said, the animation characters in that are just really great. So it's a great little sort of platformer, and not the sort of thing we get too often, you know. It's kind of in the realm of, you know, Limbo and Inside, and that sort of dark, sort of almost gothic sort of style. Well, actually more so gothic, I guess, with this particular game. So yeah, it's a cool little game, and I think well worth picking up if you like those sort of games. So this is one of the games that we'll actually be replaying from the start, because yeah, I've already completed it. But the next game, number 7, we'll be playing after this stream. It will be continuing on where we're up to, because we haven't finished that game yet. So, but anyway, let's focus on what we're playing now, and that's Little Nightmares. So let's get on into it, and we're gonna go controller with this. So yeah, let's get it up on the screen. Get it up on the screen. Going to play some Little Nightmares. There we go. I'm hoping we got sound. Yeah, I just heard it then. Just getting something else going. Checking for downloadable content. I do not have the DLC yet. I would like to get it sometime, but I don't know. I didn't really feel like... I mean, it's quite a short game as it is, so it almost felt a little bit rich asking for DLC for more content. Like, the gameplay, like, I completed it in 4 hours. I'm sure many other people would complete it in less. So I'm not a person that's like, oh, it's got to be like 20, 40, 100 hours to be worth the game. I mean, this is only like a $20 US game in the first place, but... still, the idea that perhaps some content was ripped out to resell to you at a later point always feels a bit disturbing. I mean, from what I gathered from the DLC, I think it's, you know, I think it does extend it a bit. Like, I think the first DLC, I think, might be with the same character, and then the other ones with a different character or something like that. Anyway, let's focus on this game for now. We don't want to resume the game. That will give it away. I'm going to just crank up the sound a bit for me. But yeah, the music is great as well. I forgot. Yes, it is definitely great music. And if you hear in the background, you may be hearing a lot of wind and rain. Perhaps it is summer in Australia where I am. It's supposed to be really hot and stuff at this point, and instead we've got a storm right now. Some pretty hectic winds, which is very appropriate for this game. Alright. Let's get into this. In many ways, it's a shame that we're not going to see later on in the game. I'm only going to play about an hour or two of these top 10 streams. So, yeah, if you dig it, then I I suspect. I suspect you should go purchase them. But yeah, there's some really cool parts later on in the game. So in many ways, it's probably good that we don't spoil that. Now, I'm in a brightly lit studio right now playing this. You shouldn't play it like this. You should play in the dark, on a big screen, you know, get that cinematic stylings, you know, to immerse you into this game, because, yeah, the atmosphere is great. It's on point. It actually reminds me, back in the 90s, I think it was, there was this, I reckon it might have been French or something, stop motion animation movie called The Secret Adventures of Tom Thumb, and from memory I was quite a lot younger then, and it was pretty messed up from memory, but yeah, it reminded me of this because this has a real sort of puppetry sort of stop motion animation sort of feel to it, you know. You'll quickly see if you haven't already seen this before. So this character here is called Six. Not that it's ever referred to as Six in this game. Six is basically a silent character in this game. I can't remember what those are called. I think you have to look it up if you want to find out what those are called. So, yeah. But instantly you get sort of Limbo vibes off this. Like, I mean, that's the thing, when you get an iconic game like that come out, it's hard to not compare everything to it. It's kind of like any game that's hard now is called, like, you know, it's like Dark Souls. Oh, that's right, you got a lighter. Oh, okay. So, I mean, this has been, I think this came out, when was this? Like, yeah, it was the first half of the year, I think it was, about May or something. I think it got delayed a couple of times, but, so trying to remember the controls right now. Which it's not giving you any sort of tutorial or any sort of way, so you have to figure out yourself, or maybe look in the options menu or something like that. I mean, settings, yeah, there is a control thing. So we've got move, lighter, pressing down on, oh, that's R3, look around, crouch, slide, grab, sprint, jump, and lighter again. And sprint is probably something you're going to need because this game is really a game of hide and seek in many ways, as you'll see. You're kind of quite vulnerable when you don't really have any powers. You're no superhero. You're just a little kid that's trying to escape this place, basically. There's a real nice sense of scale in this game as well. This is one of the games I don't believe I played on the stream at all. I started streaming about May this year. So this is one of those games that wasn't on the stream. In some ways, as I mentioned, I'm kind of probably happy about that to an extent, because I wanted to just be completely immersed in this game, and that's kind of hard to do while you're talking and you've got bright lights on in the room. There's got to be a way to throw this. There we go. Because I think that might be like a checkpoint or something from memory, or it's like a collectible of some sort that You get stats on, you know those things. You know the old tale from the sea. Achievements and stuff. But yeah, look at the art. Like, it's great. Like, actually, it's remind me why I have got this on the top 10 list. You know, in many ways, I'll give a spoiler. Super Mario Odyssey isn't in my top 10. It's in my honorable mentions, but not my top 10. But there's a very fair argument that in many ways, Super Mario Odyssey is possibly better than this in some ways. But we're talking about my personal top 10, and yeah, the aesthetic of this, the style of it, you know, what it's about is much more up my alley than Super Mario Odyssey, which has great crazy ideas in it, but you know, it is just Mario at the end of the day. He is just trying to save the princess again, you know, like it's so as brilliant as Super Mario Odyssey is, it's also not exactly my sort of game. And as you can see, this game is quite morbid. Not necessarily for the young kiddies. So yeah, let your kiddies play the Super Mario Odyssey, and meanwhile you play this. Because one, it's more suited to you, and two, it's only 4 hours long, not 20 to 50 hours long. And you're busy if you're an adult and you've got things to do. So you want to finish a game in a reasonable amount of time. Oh, well, I've just noticed is this little environmental storytelling in this game, because there's not really any dialogue, really. So, obviously this guy's hung himself. Looks like he was sleeping on this bed. It's got some toilet paper there. I'm guessing he wasn't having a good time. And there's the chair where he was standing before he hung himself, I guess. But there's what I just noticed then is this letter. There's this letter here. And that kind of adds to the storytelling, environmental storytelling. It's interesting. The game that I'm trying to make right now, hoping to get back into it in 2018. I'm just taking a little bit of a break from it. Is going to be very narrative driven. Well, it's completely narrative driven. It's very dialogue driven and that. And I don't really have an experience in that area. I feel like my specialty would be more this sort of thing, you know, that sort of more ambiguous sort of environmental storytelling instead. Which almost makes me wonder, should I be making a different sort of game? But I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to try and make this game that I'm making. The lighting is really nice as well. So there's textures as well. There's just it's kind of like how Little Big Planet had those real style textures, but in Little Big Planet it was more like a hipster art style sort of cartoony thing still. This is very much like it gives it, you know, a grittiness, a realness to it. Like, I mean, you'll see there's a cartooniness to the side of this. I mean, it's almost like Nightmare Before Christmas in some ways, but a lot darker. Yeah, there's something realistic about it as well. Like, it'll be interesting to see what this development team does next, actually. I mean, the fact that they did continue on this with some DLC shows they may be willing to make more games in this world. I reckon they'll at least possibly do this sort of style of art, you know, animation and that. There we go. That's what we were looking for. Actually, there's something to do with those dudes. I think you're like supposed to bop them one or something, like to collect them or something. Oh, I've got to grab it. Oh, looks a bit glitchy there. I don't think that's supposed to be just some spooky thing down there. Oh, maybe. Oh, no, it's water. Like it's going on my head there. Yeah, it looked like a bit of a glitch, but like a crazy spider infestation or something. Speaking of Inside, it's actually come out on iOS now, and it's free to download, and you can play the beginning of it. But then you have to pay money to unlock the full game, which I think is a great way to present games these days. You know, it's like giving a demo. Actually, I reckon those are checkpoints. Yeah, I reckon those dolls are collectibles. But yeah, still, kind of like I've said with this, Inside, I think you should definitely play in the dark on a big screen. It's such a cinematic experience. I don't think your first experience of it should be mobile. Like I played Limbo on PC first, or PS4 or something like that, on a bigger screen, and then eventually I went to mobile and replayed it, and I've just about completed it, which is one of the few games I've actually gone through and replayed. And I think that's the same in Inside. Inside's such a brilliant game. That was my equal number 2 for 2016. In many ways, it could have been my number 1, but yeah, so much respect for that game. But still, as I saw a review, which was a mobile website review, man, so cool. They also said this shouldn't be the first way you play it, but if it's the only option, then go right ahead. You should experience this game no matter what. I mean, I want to say something about Inside to do with its sort of story, which once again is with silent character and that sort of thing, with no dialogue really or anything. Oh crap! There's my first death. What was I saying? Oh crap. It reminds you of real gnome videos on YouTube. Oh, no doubt there's a creepiness to it. Oh, that's what I was saying about Inside. Yeah, I don't want to blow what's so brilliant about the narrative in that game. Even though it's like sort of environmental storytelling, there's a part in it, I'll just say, that is just... it just blows your mind. It's so unexpected. I don't think this game so much has that sort of twist factor. It's... I mean, I guess it kind of does, but it... I'll get up there, dude. Man, I'm getting really stuck on this. It's quite hard to see on my screen. Well, it's probably quite hard to see on the stream as well, I'm guessing. Ah! Oh, I've got a light. Got a light. Got a light. Keep forgetting about that. I was trying to get onto a bucket. That wasn't going to work. Oh, crap. And it's even creepier when you actually see them. Normally, it's horror stuff like that might be relying on the unknown, if you will. Oh, nearly made it. Those slugs almost remind me of, I think, in another world, there was those slugs that kind of... Oh, actually, also, Limbo had those sort of worms, those mollygrub things that kind of dropped down on your head and took over your brain. Alright, we made it. Well, I guess the thing about having a kid as your character in a sort of dangerous situation like this, or in Inside, or in Limbo and that, is that we instantly have a thing about protecting kids, I guess. So I think, you know, if you're playing Nathan Drake in Uncharted or whatever, you kind of think, oh yeah, he's this big tough bro dude, he'll be right. But when it's a little kid, you kind of feel scared for him to an extent, you know? I mean, this has kind of all been done in a perspective of like, everything's quite large compared to this kid 6. So, you know, that kind of helps. Especially later on in this game, when there's like, yeah, the creepy gnomes. When you see, like, you know, these giant beds and other characters, this game is very good with its scale in respect of making you feel small. I'll just go back here. I feel like we might have missed something. Nope. Oh wait, what's that down there? Just takes us back to the same spot. I hate the position of where the run button is. Actually, can you actually change the controls in this? No, you're stuck. I feel like this is one of the problems I had with it. Like, was the only thing that let this game down, I felt, was the controls, and the problem was they didn't give you an option to map the controls. At least if it was bad control configuration, if you give the player the option to change that, then you don't have to worry if you didn't get it right. And clearly, you know, 6 months on, I haven't even patched that in still, which is pretty poor. I mean, I don't know if I'm the only person that has problems with the controls in this game, but I mean, it can be quite hard with the whole 3D platforming always to get that sort of thing right as well, but... Open the blinds! Oh crap, we stuffed that up. Oh crap. Them's the brakes. You're actually opening a little door on the other side, which you're gonna have to run. Oh, now it's telling you to sprint. Oh! I think I am supposed to jump across that gap, not try and do the full run around. From memory, the difficulty curve on this was all over the place as well, like the balance of the difficulty. Ah! Yes. All right. Actually, are you freeing them or not? I can't remember. I remember looking up afterwards, and I think they were like a collectible almost. But yeah, they. I don't know how you'd catch them if that was the case. Maybe I do climb under here. And there's your first hint of the creepiness. Oh, sorry. I got distracted by Nitro, came back in the studio, decided to give him a pat, and then I killed the kid. At least the checkpoints aren't far. It's very much like Limbo and that with the trial and error side of things. We can have another look at that guy while we're at it. See, this is where, look at this, look at the sense of scale here, like of how small you are. And much like other games like this, I think, like Inside and that, it's just a continuous journey. There's no real loading screens in that, from memory. Physics definitely play into it as well, like you see all the things, because, well, I won't give away too much as to our location, but maybe you work it out. Maybe you've already worked it out, maybe it's freaking obvious to you, I don't know. What do you know? I did need to... Oh, these like toilets. Wow. And I think we'll grab this. Bring it on over. I mean, look at that. You're like 3 toilet rolls tall. That's how small you are. 3 toilet rolls small. Oh crap, we're supposed to be running, not... I feel like I was supposed to run further. Damn it. That light's gonna come back on in a minute, and we're in trouble. No, that shouldn't hurt us, actually. So, were we supposed to run? We'll soon find out if something's going to get us, I guess. There is something to do with light later on that does get you. That's why it was turned off the electricity. so you don't get shocked. Well, we've learned a lesson. In real life, of course, you don't get a second chance like that. Well, run, little son. Oh, stuffed it up. Oh, got there just. It's interesting about like rooms like that. You expect something's got to happen, something's going to happen, but sometimes there's just nothing rooms, if you will, where, you know, yeah, nothing happens. This is what I was talking about light. You cannot be in that light, otherwise you end up like those other kids that you might be able to see there. Pretty horrifying. Oh, stuffed it. Because there's a kid there. Oh no, it's the bed that's flipped. And that's what happens if you get caught. By, you like turn to stone or something. Nuts. He or she survived. I think it's a she. Oh crap, I did it again. Oh. That's what I was talking about, controls, man. The controls are not perfect, I'll say. I mean, maybe I just suck, I don't know, but, I mean, I often admit that, but I'm pretty good at, you know, knowing when it's me and when it's not me. And I think with this game, it's not me. And it's a shame, because it's the only thing that puts me off the game, really. Oh, that's how we do it. Oh, maybe not, because we can't actually climb up that, can we? Well, maybe we can't help that gnome there. Maybe we have to do it from the other side. Oh, this is like a little bonus room, isn't it? Oh, actually, I think you're supposed to hug him. I think that's what just happened then. Oh, it's following me now. Doing what I'm doing. Maybe you're supposed to escape with them. Like, I totally didn't do this the first play round, but I did remember reading afterwards that there was something you were supposed to kind of do with them to an extent. Oh, now it seems to be just going about its business, but if I hug it again... I don't know. I mean, good luck to you if you're going to take all of them through the whole place with you. That would be damn hard. It's hard enough to keep yourself alive. Oh, crap, as I was saying. Frickin' hell. Idiot. And I found that, yeah, there was these sort of quite frustrating parts. I mean, maybe that's just modern gaming where we don't have that patience anymore. Or maybe I just don't. Kind of want just this continuous experience with no challenge. Oh, crap. Oh, was that a lantern that we could have lit anyway? Oh man, I keep... the controls! Yes, it was. I think we've already sorted that section bit anyway now. I'm so used to playing Zelda now, I'm expecting the stamina to run out when you're running. There's one of those dolls. I think I got most of those the first time around. Don't know if I got all of them. Now look at the finger or handprints. What went on in this room, hey? Ah, it's almost like this, you know, it's like hinting at the eye. maybe driving the kids nuts and they went down there or something and... Oh, looks like there's almost like a picture of like kid with his family. What about if we move this? Can we move this door? Oh no, it's broken off. Man, someone went down there. Hey, look at... And I assume all these rooms got kids in them. It's like an orphanage sort of scenario. No, that's not gonna work. Speaking of an orphanage, you can see kids sleeping on the beds. More fingerprints, like the kids are just trying to get away. Oh, kid. Speaking of hangings, memory, I got stuck on this section for a long time. I think it's these sort of platforming sections that get pretty clunky. Gonna light. Gonna light. I mean, I guess it always shows good game design when I mean, this is an open world as such, but, you know, it's not always technically an obvious direction, but it does feel like you just naturally do it. Ah, see, that's, yeah. That's the sort of thing that happens, I find. You expect to need to press a button to climb over the edge, but you don't. Yup. This might have been where I got stuck for a long time. Ah. Annoying. Extremely annoying. And it's quite far back, like, gotta run through all this room again. Take things for granted for climbing that as well, like with, say, because in Zelda, yeah, you just walk up to something and you just instantly start climbing it. I mean, it's not like it's a quick time event or something like that. It's just really good design. Like, it says, hey, we don't need you to press 1,000 buttons to do something. We just know what you want to do anyway. Oh boy, this is gonna get frustrating. Come on. We don't want to get stuck here. I'd like to do up to 2 hours of stream of each of these games. I mean, really, being top 10 games a year, I should want to keep playing them non-stop. But, you know, that doesn't mean all these games are perfect. Not at all. There are elements I really like about them. Maybe we should play Super Mario Odyssey as an alternative to this being number 8. But yeah. It's just the controls and that I find a bit awkward. Otherwise, it's a very good game. Oh, crap. Why did it do that? Why did I do that, I should say. I guess it's my fault. It's the player's fault. Wonder what this is like with keyboard and mouse. I think I remember reading that it was pretty unplayable with keyboard and mouse. So if you thought the controller controls are bad, then you wouldn't have definitely wouldn't liked the keyboard and mouse. But that's just speculation. I mean, it's been as I said, over 6 months since I played this. And yeah, when I was looking up things to do with it after I completed it, you know, it was back then, like, not now. Alright, made it. Oh, don't stuff it up now. Oh. Okay. Climb. Jump. Alright. Man, reverse jumps in so many games are often really hard to do. Look, they're clunky as, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, it's not too bad in this game, to be honest. I think part of what gives this game a bit of a real feel to it is how, like, if you move something, it doesn't mean it won't go back in a way, like by itself, just from the motion. It's not like a gamey sort of thing. It's like you've unlocked this portion, now it stays there forever, you know. Seems to have quite real world physics, I guess. Yeah, you are trying to free them, but they run away. Oh, how they run away. There's the noose. He's got the noose. He's got the noose. This takes us back here. I don't know what that achieved, which is annoying because we'd have to climb all the way back up again. Otherwise, unless, no, this didn't take us to somewhere new. Oh crap. Sluggies. Oh, of course, we're getting back here because we were trying to get past that power bit. Alright. No, I don't think we can get up here. It's an illusion. Yeah, not one of these. More stonified kids. Now from memory, you gotta run with this at exactly the right pace, which is quite hard to get the timing of. We did it amazingly. Whoa. Oh crap, that's right. Gotta climb up there and quick. Whew. We've done alright. Those are the sort of things I would stuff up for ages normally. Come back here, you little dudes. I wanna hug ya. Hug you little gnomes. Oh, I said there was no loading screens, but I guess there is. I guess we're moving to the next section. Be interesting to see if this ever got a mobile port, actually. We'll have to get the DLC for this someday. Be good to play through that. It's engaging and doesn't just feel like filler. Come back here, you little dude. Where did he disappear to? There's a door there, but can't remember if that's to a bonus room or something. Or if we were supposed to go up that stairway. What was that? There's something to do with this chair, but I can't remember what. Ah, that's it. And yes, this is a bonus room as such. There's one of those little dudes. Come back here, I want to hug you. Let me hug you. He's gone. Watching the children sleep. Well, it is what it is. So you obviously get these vibes that there's a sort of orphanage situation going on. Bunch of lost kids, perhaps. I mean, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to be spoiling anything, you know. Come back here, little gnome. There we go. Giving you a hug. Now are you my slave? I think we're about to get to the part which you might have seen in promo images and trailers and that quite a bit. Oh. Where have they run to? I feel like though, I mean the obvious thing is pull that trigger and then open the door or something, but I feel as though there's more to this room. If I don't jump off. Ah, key. What is that? Is that another hung dude or? Oh, it's just some pants. Pants. Oh my god, pants. Derp. I mean, what are you supposed to do at this point? Alright, we better hurry up. Because I think there's something coming. Maybe. Maybe it's just trying to scare you a bit. So small. Derp. There we go. And just like there's a weightiness to things, you know, the sound effects and that realism to them, you know. Oh crap, I think I remember this section. Really gives you this sort of feel of like being smaller as a kid, trying to hide away from some sort of predator of some sort. Actually, it kind of reminds me a bit like when I was a kid, we had this bad babysitter, and I just kind of hid under my bed sort of thing from her, and I think she kind of freaked out because she didn't know where we were and that sort of thing. But yeah, it's kind of got those vibes going on. Do I actually feel like this is another spot I got stuck on for a while? First time around. Yeah. You gonna climb or not? Yeah, you gotta get that. This is the elevator, and you've got to press that button somehow. Click, 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 click. Oh, he's hungry again. This is not a nice scene from memory. Music as well. trapped. That's not what I was thinking of, but yeah. You're in a cage now, dude. Is that sort of oily sludge? Using the cage that the kid's in to save yourself. So trying to get him out. Hey kid. I know something bad's gonna happen to you, but I gotta grab this. I like how it's giving me these tips after I'm already doing it. Sorry, kids. Kind of left you to perish there, I guess. I guess it's about forcing you to feel helpless in many ways. Though you could argue that he or she could have tried to do something, but I think the DLC might be actually about that, about saving the other kids. I'll definitely have to look it up again after tonight's streams. We'll keep playing this for maybe up to another half an hour or so, and then yeah. And now you're probably getting a bit of a sense of what's going on in this place. Check it out. Those kids look like they've already been kind of burnt by that eye. Cooked essentially. Anyways, let's avoid that happening to us. But yeah, we'll play this maybe for another half an hour, and then we'll get into our next stream. Which will be number 7 of my top 10 of the years. So yeah, if you have just joined us in recent times, this is number 8 on my top 10 lists of game of the year. And it's called Little Nightmares. Published by Namco Bandai. The developer I can't actually think of right now, actually. Yeah. But it's an indie developer of some sort who's made this. Okay, so what we've got to do from here. See, now those kids are alive still. But the ones he's been wrapping up haven't been. Oh, there's a buzzer over there. But I almost feel like we're supposed to get up on those hooks somehow. We'll find out in a minute. If we get caught. No, no. Crap. We were supposed to go through that hole. Let's just give it a full sprint to go. Don't know if we'll make it though. Oh! When you don't just quite get it right, like... I guess it's that sort of... It's not 2.5... Well, I guess... No, it is 2.5D, isn't it? Was it 3D? I don't know, I mean... You're in a 3D space, technically. Look, I mean, it's not like just the background is 3D. You are actually walking in a 3D space. Oh, that's right. Doesn't matter about sight with this guy. He's got nose. Nah. And you can only imagine what would happen next. So we're gonna run. Maybe we'll have to go in a cage first and wait till he gets back into his usual routine, perhaps, or something, and then keep moving on. Man, yeah, look at that animation, eh? And just the design of the characters. Pretty amazing. Just, mate. Oh, crap. How the hell? Ah. I feel like we were supposed to go somewhere else. Oh, no, you're back here again. It's interesting, the sound is on there, hearing that heartbeat come up and it kind of fades the music away a bit and then it comes back in once your heartbeat slows down again. Get up, dude. Maybe that was enough. Move along. There's this thing with shoes and I think it's to do with that particular guy. Down we go. As you can see, it's a shoes shoot. Playing, well, without giving out way too much spoilers, playing through the whole game, I'm still not sure what the deal is with the shoes. I mean, if they're the kids' shoes, like, they're quite large. Like, look at the size of this kid. Like, the shoe is, like, almost as big as the kid, so... So something else is going on. I think we're actually quite far away still from that bit I was talking about, how you'd see quite a bit of it in the trailers, but... Yeah, really cool physics. And now here's a lot of shoes. And this bit's quite creepy. And how do we do it again? So, it's a lot of shoes. Oh man, I'm so obsessed with Zelda. I'm just expecting to be able to put my binoculars on to look over to there to see what that is in the distance. I like how it uses that sort of... You don't know what that is. It's like classic horror style stuff. I mean, I say that as someone who doesn't actually even watch horror. I don't like horror. You know, I like stuff that's kind of creepy, I guess, in a way, if you will. Gothic in nature, but I'm not a horror fan at all. Back where we were before. Oh crap, yes, yes it is. Oh, you can slide. Oh, that's, I thought you had to hide in there. Quite a close-up of him there. This is what I was talking about, hide and seek, like. Oh, the gnomes. The gnomes be getting chased now. This was a scene I was thinking was earlier on, but... Come back, gnomes. Let me hug you. It's cool how the depth of field focus sort of changes as you get closer to that. Ah, it's one of those ladies. I bet you I didn't get her last time. From memory, this part was quite hard. Oh crap. Do it, dude. Oh my god, did we do it in one shot? Wow, I'm sure that took me tons of goes last time. Though we're not quite out of the woods yet. Wow. I'm sure that took me so many goes last time. Hello, Joe. Dude's like a spider. Oh, that's gonna make a noise. Crap. Crap. Nearly. That throwing action is just so awkward in a way. It's like you have to be in the exact right position and suddenly 6 will throw a lot further. See? Maybe it's to do with how... Doesn't like that sound. One, two blue. Come on. Oh, hello. I remember this, I think. It's quite a convoluted part, really. We'll see how we go, otherwise we might wrap it up around here. There's some really cool parts that come up ahead, but maybe, you know, I'll let you discover that, you know? I mean, I think you've got a sense by now whether this game is for you or not, and if it is, it's worth you getting the surprises, you know? Remember all these things you could accidentally knock over. So I've always wondered if it was my Xbox controller, but and I don't mean specifically just for this game, but other games I use my controller for. But this is my newer one. This is like a brand new one, and if I press this way enough, it will just keep walking. But you do it the other way, it won't do that. I've noticed that it feels like a 360 controller bug with PC perhaps. Like, it just seems to have this auto left scenario going on with the left analog stick if you press it too hard or something. I don't know. I just thought I had a dodgy left stick, but this is a newer, not, you know, barely used one, and it has the same issues that appear. And as I said, it's not specifically this game, it's other games as well. We could do with something to throw at this point. Maybe we'll go back, pick that up. Just made it. It's interesting that she's cooking, she's got a big cleaver and that. I can't actually remember what you do there, to be honest. Hopefully it takes us back to that room. Yes. Because what are we trying to do at this point? I can't remember if we're trying to kill him or something, or... Yeah. Jump up, dude. Yeah. I've done it again. Ah, of course, this. That's what we're after. And we can't get out unless he's back in here, so we need to pick this up. It's gonna be hard. No room for stuffing up. And this is the tension of this game, really, like... Did it. Surprising. Whenever there's a minecart, you want to be moving it along. But you also don't want to get steamed. Do ya? Interesting, the rocking of the, you know, the room is part of the puzzle in many ways, because you've got to get it in the right angle to be able to not have the minecart cart kind of roll down the thing. And there's our friends there, all wrapped up, getting taken down the hook train. I feel like almost like as if there'd be something over here, but there isn't, is there? So we like try and shut the door. No, we can't. We're wasting our time here. Alright, let's keep running. Oh, there's one of those. Interested to know what ones of those sort of things, like the lanterns and the candles and also the dolls, that I'm discovering this time round that I didn't maybe the first time round. Oh, damn, son. I don't remember that. that was something. Let's try that again. bit trapped at this point. Because I don't think you can just jump on his hands or anything. They do seem to be going in around a pattern. Oh crap, that ain't good. Oh. This is the tension that I was talking about that this game creates. I know we've got to break that thing over there, but I can't remember how. How do we do that? Perhaps we have to really dodge those hands and pull this. No, that didn't work. Phew. Nope. Not the ladder. What else is in this room but like... The ladder gives you away actually. Side or something as well. There we go. That'll do it. Look at the physics on his hands. Oh man, you can just kind of feel the jelliness of those arms now. Oh, yep. And you don't see what happened to him on the other side. That's what's... I mean, I think this game's M-rated in Australia. And I guess it's because it does do that. I mean, I don't watch Hitchcock films, but I know the classic thing was like not showing the horror, you know, just, you know, kind of hinting at it. And that's what this game kind of excels at quite well. That kind of might almost take us to the next section, so that might be where we might wrap up our little nightmare stream and head on to our number 7 next. But let's just have a look where we're at now to give you a bit of a preview. But I definitely recommend, of course, as with all these games, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, then you should purchase this game, especially a game like this, which while published by a major, is no doubt produced by an indie. You know, a relatively big size indie, but oh, there's a body. Let the bodies hit the floor, let the bodies hit the floor. Now that's a kid's shoe. Donk. Here we go. What a fun carnival ride. Hey, Pinotto, how's it going? Respect to you. And there's a bit of a hint what's coming up. Yes, nightmares indeed, Pinotto. It's little nightmares. Those are old bodies, by the way, if you missed earlier on. Why did I let go there? Am I supposed to keep hanging on, or did I fall off? Actually, oh, this is the scene I think I was talking about that's not good. Actually, I'm guessing you can probably guess what's going to happen here. So, maybe that's where I'll end this part of the stream. You can kind of see. Yeah, I don't want to really go through that again. So yeah, that's Little Nightmares, which yeah, is not, you know, not the most pleasant game, if you will, but I mean, I really like the vibe of it. I mean, the bit that was just about to happen is about the only bit I don't like, in a way, but, you know, in the reality of it, I guess it makes sense, but of course, if you know me, you'll know why I don't like that. But yeah, Little Nightmares, yeah, as I said, it's almost like Little Big Planet, directed by Tim Burton or something like that, and also it does, as mentioned, it feels a bit like The Secret Adventures of Tom Thumb, this obscure sort of 90s stop animation film that had real humans in it as well. That's what was special about that Secret Adventures of Tom Thumb. So you had these stop motion characters in it, but it had real humans, but they were also stop motion. So those humans actually had to move and talk like one frame at a time. That would have been so crazy to make. But I remember when I was looking into getting into filmmaking earlier on, yeah, that was quite an inspiration to me. Like the idea that they'd spend this much time with like human actors to do stop motion and that sort of thing. But yeah, you might have seen when we were just about to come into that room a certain character, and if you look at the promo images and trailers, you would have seen those chefs and that's kind of the next section is the kitchen. And yeah, that's probably I think the next major act, and then I think there's like 2 or 3 maybe more acts after that. So yeah, as I said, it's probably about 4 hours of gameplay, which I think is a great length. I really like that length. I like the idea of being able to knock out something in one night, or over a weekend, not having to have it span over forever. I mean, yeah, sure, I like Zelda, and I could put 200 hours into that, I reckon, the way we're going with that. But I also like these really no filler sort of complete experiences that you can kind of knock out quite quickly, because there's just so many games out there now that I don't want to not finish a game just because I want to move on to something else, you know. And I've got a lot of games on the go right now, so a game like this, yeah, obviously I completed pretty much probably in a weekend, I imagine, or a night. So that was really good. So yeah, The Little Nightmares, been out for a while. You could probably pick it up on special now if you're really unsure about it, but as I said, like, yeah, it's a good little game. It's my number 8 for the year, and there is DLC for it as well, which I haven't gotten and played yet, but I will get it sometime. I mean, this is when I went to play this tonight, I was kind of thinking, well, actually, is this really my number 8? But actually playing it again, it is reminding me, despite the clunky controls at times, and platforming, it's got so many things right. The art style, the animations, which I think are pretty unparalleled, you know, other than maybe Cuphead or something like that. But this is a different level to Cuphead, you know, it's a different sort of style in many ways. The atmosphere in particular, the environmental storytelling, and that just kind of hints at what's been going on in this place, but it doesn't necessarily tell you the full story. All those things are things I really look for in a game. So even if there is a few imperfections like all games have, I'll take that in my stride a bit if I need to, because yeah, if it was any longer than 4 hours, I think I would have got over it. So I think coming fresh into the DLC sometime would probably be okay, as long as it's only a couple of hours long as well. If you extended this experience to double that length, I think it would have got a bit frustrating. But I think it finished at the right time when I was doing the playthrough. But that's not to say the DLC wouldn't be enjoyable as well. Okay, so that's it for number 8 of our top 10 of 2017 stream. If you're sticking around on the live stream version of this, I'll be going on to number 7 in a minute. I'll just be taking a few minutes break, and then yeah, we'll switch over to number 7. So stick around to find out what number 7 is.